Hey, good Tuesday morning. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here. Ben at 10 on this April the 29th. And unfortunately, the main thing we're probably going to dig into is the potential for severe storms this afternoon and into the evening time. The Storm Prediction Center has us under level 3 out of the 5 severe weather risk categories from the Storm Prediction Center. And the Storm Prediction Center is a division of the National Weather Service. They're out of Norman, Oklahoma, and their huge job is to look across the United States and see where severe weather might happen. So we are, again, under level 3. That's an enhanced risk. You may have heard of moderate risk or high risk. We're not up to that level. I don't expect a huge outbreak of severe weather, but we could have a couple storms that pack a punch. The atmosphere is going to get juiced up a little bit of steroids with the atmosphere this afternoon, meaning warm and moist conditions. So we've got that energy, the fuel for those storms to become strong a little bit later on today. I'm looking right now here at the radar and satellite. There is a severe thunderstorm watch that's expanding into Missouri now as we push pause there. So severe thunderstorm watch kind of bumps up to the Mississippi River there into southwestern Illinois. So that's out west of us now. I would not be surprised if we get a severe thunderstorm watch a little bit later this afternoon. And so far as we just kind of look around the region, the closest showers and thunderstorms are out to our west. There's kind of some debate whether those storms would hold together long enough to give us a spotty shower this morning, but looks like we'll be mainly dry this morning and then ramping up the chances for showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. So we'll definitely spend plenty of time tracking and timing out with future radar today's threat of severe weather. And if we do get some severe storms today, I think the tornado threat will stay low, but we'll have to watch out for the potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour, the possibility of some large hail, heavy rainfall, and frequent lightning too. So just some big storms possible later today that we'll take a look at. And then we'll have more rain chances tomorrow for Thursday, for Friday. I would lean towards the driest time periods tomorrow and Thursday during the first half of the day, and then rain chances ramp up late Wednesday and also late Thursday, and then some scattered light rain showers for Oaks on Friday. So as you can tell, we'll probably spend plenty of time on our long form weather coverage for today. So please feel free to leave a comment if you're just hopping on and say hello this morning. And if you have any questions, feel free to share those as well, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. We've got a good morning here from Beverly Hagest from Borden, Indiana. So thanks for tuning in there, Beverly. And again, so far, showers and thunderstorms out to the west. Let me bring up our forecast. We'll start to go into the forecast, and then we'll dig back into the radar and satellite, into the weather models, and then we'll once again recap the forecast. But let me bring up something else here. So it is outside of the storm threat that we'll talk a lot about. The good thing is it is bird migration time across the area. So this is a look at the birds that we had in our backyard this morning. A lot of the normals. The northern cardinal was loud and proud this morning. The tufted titmouse, Carolina chickadee, the wood thrush, which we don't see very often, and the eastern phoebe, I think. I have not seen that bird. And the blue jay was also pretty loud. So I say that to say this, that we, let me go ahead and bring this back up here, that I think it was like an estimated 200 million birds that were migrating last night. So this is a look at the estimated amount of birds. And look at that, straight up from Mexico, over the Gulf of Mexico, coming in from Texas. So flying right over our area. A lot of them pass through, head up into Canada and the Great Lakes. But as they do, they can make for some loud mornings as the birds, they migrate a lot at night, and then we'll kind of park it and fuel back up during the day, and then move again at night. We have this morning Calvin and Robin Robbins. Thanks for tuning in. Speaking of birds, Robbins. We got Angela Epperson here from Louisville, Kentucky. A good morning there. So thanks for tuning in from wherever you're tuning in this morning. So that bird migration in full force. Again, this map is from birdcast.info, and it'll bring up the bird migration. Notice that's the sunrise line that passes through. Once we have sun up, notice the bird migration kind of slows down. It peaks at nighttime. Look at the current conditions across the area. And this is a look at extolmag.com/weather. You can always follow along here. We've got your interactive radar. I put together a pretty long weather story because of the potential of severe storms for this afternoon. So definitely be extra weather aware today. Have a way to get those alerts. Be prepared to seek shelter if a warning is issued for your area later on this afternoon and into the evening time. So this is a look at the weather story that I put together this morning, and it has a look at the severe weather risk from the Storm Prediction Center right there. We're in the orange, at least much of our area. That is the level 3 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. That's a look at the available energy, the convective available potential energy. The fuel for those storms is high over the area with that rich atmosphere loaded with moisture and warmth. So then that's a look at a couple of different high-resolution weather models at 7 p.m. today. So the atmosphere might become a little bit of explosive. We'll have to watch that. Rainfall totals throughout the week, about an inch or two, could be locally heavier in some areas. Then we've got a lot more maps and graphics there for you to plan out the rest of your Derby week. So there are a lot of tools here for you, a lot of information, a lot of content and data at extolmag.com. That is extolmag.com/weather. And then these graphics update automatically. That is a look at the Storm Prediction Center's Day 1, Day 2 outlooks, any severe thunderstorm watches or warnings. You can click on that. That'll bring up the alerts from the National Weather Service. And then we have the storm reports from today. Cross our fingers, we don't have storm reports here locally. That would mean we probably had damage or some large hail around our area. Regional radar, you can always pop up that has watches and warnings. And then, of course, the best thing, my favorite thing, is the interactive radar that also includes your temperatures. So it's a summer-like morning. I don't know if you stepped out yet, but we're at 75, 76 degrees. Looks like a little tiny shower there near Patoka Lake. And that's in Crawford County. And as we expand out there, you can see the showers and thunderstorms up to the northwest. There are also storm tracks. You can click on those and notice that it will track the thunderstorm for you and tell you where it's going. It tells you the speed and the towns in the way. You can be your own meteorologist right here. You can see the lightning strikes there. So that is out in east central Illinois. And then you got some more thunderstorms up here around Indianapolis. And again, such an easy tool here. It'll also tell you if there's circulation in that thunderstorm, if there's any spin. It shows you the speed of the storms moving northeast around 60 miles per hour. The impact, it shows different areas around Pendleton, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana. I got a lot of family there. Showing the timing at around 10 to 20 minutes. So just an awesome tool here for you to use that you can easily use later today. Then you can see the watches, warnings, and any alerts that might be happening. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. And then within that severe thunderstorm warning, there's actually a couple tornado warnings there near Springfield, Missouri. All right, so you got temperatures, you got lightning, you can add on the wind speeds. Winds are a part of the story for today. Outside of any storms, we'll have southwest winds at around 15 to 30 miles per hour. So the winds will be kicking up a bit out there for today. Again, that's the free interactive radar at extolmag.com/weather. So check that out. And we're talking about that chance of some severe storms later today. And we have a good morning here from Fran Skull. Thanks for watching this morning. And a good morning to Sarah Shemansky. I love tuning in each day for the accurate forecast and the play ball outlook to plan my evenings. Speaking of that, we're going to be bringing up that play ball forecast here in just a second. So let me go ahead and back out of the full screen view of the interactive radar there and pull back up the radar and satellite around the region. Thank you, Sarah, for that comment this morning. So this is a look at the active weather off to our west. And again, we'll look at that weather model data and plan that out here in just a moment. All right, so I want to thank Robin Sewell for sharing this to our Facebook post yesterday. We talked about some turtles, mating season time last week, and you can see them all sunbathing there. Nice spot in the pond. Chilling yesterday in that warm 80-degree sunshine across the area. My daughter had a tennis match up in Paoli, and there were just these little flies everywhere. Nature is coming alive in so many ways. They were a little bit bothersome. Nothing against Paoli. I know it's not your fault. There's a field nearby, and I think that was the issue. All right, so today's forecast, 79 degrees. Now, I think some areas south that don't see storms first could reach the 80s easily, but plan on some afternoon storms today. Our sunset at 8:32. Allergy report is high tree and grass pollen across the area. And Sarah, here's that play ball forecast. So we could have some early afternoon showers and thunderstorms bubble up, and that will be a big question mark. If we don't get many early afternoon thunderstorms to kind of churn up the atmosphere, then the late afternoon, say around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. time frame, those storms could be stronger. We call this conditional. So how strong will the storms round 1 or round 2 be? It's conditional on just how they evolve, and we call that nowcasting as well, which means we don't know 100% how it will evolve in the afternoon. We've got a lot of weather model data that will help you time out the couple rounds of showers and thunderstorms that we'll have, but we'll just have to wait and see how potent and strong these thunderstorms get later on today. With that said, the play ball forecast here, a good 70% chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms for the late afternoon and evening time. Once you get the clouds rolling in from the storms, and there's a lot of clouds out there now, temperatures will be kind of dropping into the 70s. If you start to get rain, then you're probably looking at low 70s. So again, it's going to just depend on whether you have rain or not over you and how cool those temperatures cool off. Either way, again, it'll be a bit breezy out there, maybe some wind gusts around 20 to 30 miles per hour today. So I would bring the rain gear no matter what your outdoor plans later today. Our sunset at 8:32 this evening, in that forecast here for tonight, low 62 degrees. I think a lot of the stormy activity will diminish after around 9-10 p.m. and then maybe a few leftover stray showers during the overnight period, but it'll be drying out during the overnight for the most part. North wind at around 5 to 10 and low temperature around 62 degrees. In the 7-day forecast, we've got another chance of some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, but I've dropped it to only a 30% chance of rain for Wednesday with a high of 79 degrees. So for tomorrow for the steamboat race, 5:02 day out there. We'll be out at Churchill Downs, having a good time out there tomorrow and doing our best to do a rain job. And again, tomorrow, 30% chance, not a big chance of rain. I think during the first half of the day, it's going to be mostly dry. That's kind of the trend with most of the weather models. And then by, say, late afternoon into the evening time, we start to see the chance of some showers and thunderstorms ramping back up late Wednesday. Gary and Janet Hutchins, thanks for the emojis there. Appreciate you watching on this Tuesday, April 29th. And then same kind of deal for Thursday, but more widespread chance of showers and thunderstorms for Thursday. First half of the day so far trending driest. Can't rule out some of the showers though passing through, and then ramping up the rain chances late Thursday night. Could be some strong to severe storms Thursday as well after a high of 80 degrees. Again, we're not getting rid of the warmth or the kind of unstable atmosphere. I don't expect any severe weather tomorrow. And then Thursday, perhaps a chance for a few strong to severe storms. And then Friday for Oaks, that looks like some spotty light rain showers. 72 degrees, the high temperature, likely mostly cloudy. Now, into Derby Day. Some of the latest data was showing maybe some lingering clouds in the morning, maybe a stray shower around sunrise. I'm going to stay optimistic for Derby Day Saturday and call it mostly sunny, especially by the afternoon, with a high of 67. So it does look like that'll be our coolest day, but hey, that's pretty comfy for a Derby overall. And then Sunday, 72 degrees, and then our reward, I think, after some unsettled weather. So we started April 2nd with an outbreak of severe weather around our region. That led into a prolonged period of flooding, Ohio River flooding. Now we're kind of ending April on an unsettled note as well with our severe weather threat for this afternoon and evening, and then a period of some wet days here through Friday. I'm not expecting any big river flooding or anything like that, as we're looking at probably 1 to 2 inches of rainfall in most spots over the next several days. And now there could be some localized flash flooding if we get some slow-moving storms from time to time over the next couple of days, but no big river flooding expected with this. With that said, after a busy end to April weather-wise with this active and unsettled weather, it looks like this weekend, possibly through most of next week, we're going to be heading into a dry spell and just really, really nice chill conditions across the area with some nice temperatures next week as well. That is the hope. All right, we've got a good morning from Alberta. Philpott, thanks for watching. Glad to see you on here. Glad to see you on here. And Lily and Lasley, love those updates. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. All right, so that is a look at the forecast. Now it's time to dig into the radar and satellite, as we do have active weather just out to our west. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this one up, more full screen version for you. And so severe thunderstorm watch is out west. That's out towards Cape Girardeau into southern Missouri. So no active weather for us, it looks like this morning. Our chances of strong to severe storms will ramp up later today. They have been busy off to our west, though. They have a tornado here, a tornado warning. That storm moving east at around 54 miles per hour. So that is a radar indicated tornado there. And the surrounding that tornado warning around Springfield, Missouri, is a big area of severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's where the active weather is right now. As we zoom closer into our area, the closest showers off to the northwest. It looks like maybe a couple sprinkles here around the Milltown area in Crawford County, but again, most of our area is dry, kind of a mixed sky of clouds and some peaks of sunshine across the area. And then up to our northwest around Sullivan, Indiana. That's just a special weather statement. That's not a warning. It just gives you some information about some of that heavy rainfall and that storm moving east at around 54 miles per hour. Possibility of some hail in that, and maximum wind gusts around 50 to 55 miles per hour. Again, that is off to our northwest. So we're going to go ahead and move into the weather model data since things are pretty quiet around our area for now. But again, we are expecting things to ramp up later today. Again, be extra weather aware, be ready, be prepared. If you get a warning to be seeking shelter later this afternoon. And hopefully, what's very tough, I've already had, athletic directors at area schools asking me what's going to happen later today. And it's going to be sometimes a tough decision. If the storms are holding off later, then they want to get that ball game in, but you don't want to risk it either. So, we'll be sharing this weather model data, the very latest, giving a lot of updates to folks throughout the day today to give the very latest data. So I'm going to give you guys the very latest data at the very same time right here as we bring up. We'll look at a couple of different high-resolution weather models. This is the NAM 3 kilometer. It was a little more explosive of the weather models for later today. I'm going to pop this up to 11 o'clock this morning. And it is, again, a little aggressive. We are not seeing those showers and thunderstorms. They're a little farther, I would say, east than they actually are at the moment. So this might be a tad ahead of schedule as far as the timing. Real quick, we've got a good morning from Josh Mabe. What time did the storm start? Josh, watch and follow along. We're going to watch together here. Bonnie Zier, is that right? Zer, good morning to you in Maryland. Stewart from Dudleytown, thanks for watching this morning. All right, so let's watch it together here. Josh Mabe, as we look ahead to the storm chances. So this could be a round one. So this is at 1 p.m. today. Let me go ahead and put on the telestration so we are all on the same page. So this is at 1 p.m. Now, I'll go ahead and bring this up full screen. So just keep in mind that this first round could pack a decent punch, heavy rain, gusty wind, but we may see some stronger storms around that 6-7 p.m. time frame. Let me go ahead and clear that off. So will we see this early batch, and how much will this early batch at 1 p.m. today settle things down for later this afternoon. It's kind of the big meteorological question for today. And will we recharge and have enough energy for strong storms again to form later this afternoon? So that's 1 p.m. And keep in mind, this is the NAM 3 kilometer. We're going to look at the high resolution rapid refresh weather model here in just a second. And we'll move this basically hour by hour is where we're going to go with this. So this is kind of a cluster of some showers and thunderstorms, early afternoon potential. That's at 2 p.m. And then here is at 3 o'clock today, scattered downpours possible around the area. This is at 4 o'clock. Here's 5 o'clock. So what's happening late in the afternoon as we get towards evening time, we actually have the front that's going to move into the area, give us an additional kick for showers and thunderstorms. And also, it's going to linger. It's going to become a stationary front. So it's going to give us some periods of rain and some storms all the way through Friday, it looks like. So this is at 6 p.m. And so when we load up 7 o'clock, this could be kind of the round 2 clusters of showers and thunderstorms across the area. So that's at 7 p.m. Here's 8 o'clock. By 8, 9 o'clock, it looks like, southern Indiana not as active. Seeing more of that active weather moving into Kentucky around that time. This is around 9 p.m. And then once we get deeper into the nighttime, that severe weather threat will diminish and move off to the east. I'm going to go back to around 4 o'clock today and bring up the surface CAPE. This is the convective available potential energy. So just think energy, think fuel for these thunderstorms. And when we get into these colors, that's over 3,000 joules per kilogram. Simply put, that is plenty of energy. Kind of, again, the atmosphere on a bit of steroids here with water-loaded atmosphere, a lot of moisture content, some heat as well with upper 70s and lower 80s. So there's plenty of fuel for the storms. And then you usually want to match that up with wind speeds. So if we look at the 500 millibar winds, and we can look at the lower levels as well. So this is around 18,000 feet. And notice the winds are up there, showing 50, 60 mile per hour winds over the top of us. This sustains the storms, helps them remain strong for longer. So we've got some ingredients here. And again, I would not be surprised with what we're seeing with the latest data if we were to get a severe thunderstorm watch at some point for later this afternoon. Would not be surprising at all. Plus, we're under level 3 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. That's an enhanced risk of severe storms for our area later on today. So again, as I mentioned before, let's all just be a little bit extra weather aware today. Now I'm going to go to the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. This is the HRR, that some people call it, the HRRR. And we'll bring up the reflectivity, which is your normal, it's kind of like your future radar, what you're normally used to seeing. And we're gonna put it to now, look at the analysis, and this is doing a pretty good job of keeping the active weather to the northwest, keeping us pretty quiet. I like the initialization of the HRR. This is at 11 o'clock. This is at noon today. Here's 1 p.m. So I would say this model, a lot less aggressive. It does have some showers, some downpours popping up around that early afternoon time period, 1 to 2 p.m. I think that setup would allow for the storms late today towards 6, 7 o'clock to be stronger with this solution. We'll just see how it plays out here. This is at 3 o'clock today. This is at 4 o'clock. This is at 5 o'clock. So you're seeing the trend here. I'll go ahead and bring this one up full screen. So I'm kind of leaning towards this solution overall. There you can see some storms firing up during the heat of the day. And those could be some hailers. Could have some large hail involved with these thunderstorms. We don't want that. Obviously, that could cause a lot of problems with the roofs. So we'll look at a couple more comments here. Also want to give a shout out to our partners, NWSB. They, by the way, and we'll get right back to the weather model data here in just a second, they have a project where you can pitch in, you can bring in plastic bags, paper bags, tote bags, backpacks, duffel bags, lunch bags, drop off at any NWSB location around southern Indiana, and this is helping out Project Recovery. So that is NWSB. You can drop off any of those bags. Lions Roofing, again, with these hailstorms, the possibility of some damaging winds, they might be crazy busy once again. They've been helping us out personally as well. So appreciate them partnering up as well. Back to the weather model data we go. All right, so here is a look at the storms growing at 6 p.m. So again, here's the big difference. I know that looks big and bad right there. That's at around 7 p.m. So the first weather model, the high resolution weather model, the NAM 3 kilometer, got things going early afternoon. That kind of churned things up, settled things down in southern Indiana. So it didn't blossom up the late day 7 p.m. storms as much. The HRRR weather model, the other weather model that we're looking at right now, did not have as much with that first batch in the early afternoon. So that allowed the atmosphere to really blossom. So we do have, again, conditional on two different scenarios. This is just an interesting look at how these high resolution weather models behave. They are not perfect. Sometimes we just have to watch how things evolve. But if we have those ingredients, you may have seen that meme on Facebook where you're making tacos, you have the tomatoes, you've got the meat, and you got the cheese, you got the ingredients. And then that's when the watch is issued. So it would not be surprising if we get a severe thunderstorm watch later today. But then, once the taco is made, that's when there is a warning. So later this afternoon, if we get some storms to become big and bad enough, then certainly we may have a severe thunderstorm warning. I think the overall threat of tornadoes is going to stay low for us, not 0% chance, but very low for us. Now this is at 8 p.m. with the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. So this updates every hour with fresh data. So a lot of times it is fairly accurate with the timing. So this, as we look here at full screen, is at 8 p.m. this evening. Storms moving through the area. Packing a punch, possibility of locally heavy rainfall, ponding of water on the roads, might get a flood advisory. At worst case, maybe a flash flood warning briefly. The potential of frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. That lightning could be vivid with how much CAPE and fuel that we have in the atmosphere. We do have the winds in the atmosphere that will keep these storms strong if they do explode like that. And that could also translate to some damaging wind gusts. Hopefully that would be isolated too. And the potential of some large hail. So that is at around 8 p.m. today. This is 9 p.m. And then the storms, again, around 9, 10 p.m., I think that threat is diminishing pretty quickly. So not long after sunset, I think we'll start to see things settle down. And there might be a passing shower overnight, but things will settle down around that time. Let me get back over to our comments here. Okay, we got Bill Gleason, a good morning there. Jay K's tuning in again this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Robert Simpson, thanks for supporting. Ben at 10. Again, you can always find us, Ben at 10, Monday through Friday, my Facebook page, or Extol Weather. We got the replay there, Extol Media Live on YouTube. And we've got to thank you for the update from Mary Ash. Thank you, Mary, for watching. And Chris Marling, good morning to you, sir. Thanks for tuning in here on what could be a busy weather day today. And a brand new one here from Carolyn Tash. Good morning to you. Thanks for watching. Thank you all for watching here. So that's today. I think let me go ahead and bring up the Storm Prediction Center outlook for severe weather for today. This is the severe weather risk. And it still has our area under that level 3 out of 5. That is the orange area that stretches all the way up towards Syracuse, New York, through Ohio and northwestern Pennsylvania. So not only slight risks surrounding our area, that's level 2, we are under the level 3 from the Storm Prediction Center as far as severe weather. So that's called an enhanced risk of severe storms for this afternoon and evening. Barbara Brownfield, a good morning to you. Thanks for watching here. Let me go back over to here. This is a look at the probability of a tornado. It is at 2% for our area, and it looks like 5% to the northeast. So low risk overall of tornadoes. Probability of hail, a little bit higher there over our region. This is probability of wind, and that is higher than the hail. So mainly a damaging wind threat for our area. And there you can see that includes pretty much all of our counties in southern Indiana, and then down towards Elizabethtown, Lexington, up and towards Cincinnati, Madison, Indiana, under that enhanced risk of severe storms for this afternoon. Now we go to, I'm going to quick look at currents. So this is, again, the setup, kind of similar, but it's not as bad as what we saw in early April. Notice the cold front that becomes stationary front. I'm going to go ahead and bring this one up full screen. Again, a nation divided. You've got cool temperatures up to the north and northwest, and then you've got almost some early summer-like conditions over the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, down over the south. So you can see that separation. That in the middle is that battleground of showers and thunderstorms, and that front is going to become stationary and eventually is going to give us some rounds of showers and thunderstorms from today all the way through Friday. We've got, hi there, you're the best. Thanks for all the info from my mom. She might be a little bit biased, but thank you very much for watching, Mom and Grandma there up in Borden, Indiana. All right, let's look ahead with the GFS weather model, and this is going to take us through the rest of the week. Again, today, weather aware, severe weather potential. For this afternoon, I'm going to go to the GFS high resolution, go to reflectivity. I'm going to bump this ahead to tomorrow morning, and that is going to be our April 30th, Wednesday. We are planning to be out live in front of Churchill Downs tomorrow. I might spend a little time on the backside checking out some of the Derby horses, and then we're going to spend the day, Extol team, me and Jason over here out at the track tomorrow, and then hopefully we're dodging the rain. It looks like plenty of dry time for the first half of tomorrow, maybe the first half of Derby as well. Both Wednesday and Thursday, it looks like the rain chances ramp up late afternoon into the evening time. And we've got Nina Martin. Thanks, Ben. I've watched you for many years. Keep up the great work. Love watching your weather forecast. Thank you very much for your support and tuning in here today. Back to full screen here. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, going to 11 o'clock. So notice a little more active out to our west. And no worries, Judy. Tyndall, you won't miss anything. We'll recap the forecast. Good morning to you. Thanks for coming in even on maybe it was 10:30, the last half of our live weather coverage here in New Albany, Indiana, covering southern Indiana and beyond from the Extol Media Studios this morning. This is at 2 p.m. Wednesday. Doesn't look all that heavy. Passing shower possible tomorrow afternoon. This is at 8 p.m. tomorrow. It looks like we could have a little batch of some showers and thunderstorms. Notice it looks a lot heavier out to our west. That's at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So I've only got a 30% chance of a shower tomorrow. So doesn't look like anything real heavy overall for our Wednesday. That's at 11 p.m. tomorrow night. Now we're starting to go into the late night hours into Thursday morning. This, I'll stop it here, is 8 a.m. Thursday. So if that's the case, bring the ponchos for Thursday morning right there. Now the system is going to be moving over the top of us, a low pressure system riding along that stationary front highway, and that's going to give us an increasing chance of some showers and thunderstorms, I would say late Thursday. Now in the middle, again, I don't think it's going to be a washout. I think we're going to get some dry periods here for Thursday. This is at 2 p.m., some passing showers, some thunderstorms. Now on Thursday afternoon, I've got a high of around 80 degrees. So do we have the energy for strong thunderstorms? Yes, we do. This is the CAPE, again, the available potential energy. The atmosphere is juiced up here. It has the energy for some strong thunderstorms. We'll have to watch out for Thurby as well. Then we've got a front moving through. This is around 8 p.m., so races are over with Thursday. And we could have this round of some showers and thunderstorms moving through the area, bringing in a round of some heavy rain, some thunderstorms. That here is at 11 p.m. Thursday night. So kind of both. Wednesday, I think the showers are more isolated. Thursday, more widespread and scattered. Heaviest both days, I think, are late, and especially late night for Thursday. All right, then it moves off to the east. Where are we at now? This is 8 o'clock in the morning, May 2nd, Friday for Oaks, showing drier conditions. But I still think we're going to have that chance on the very tail end of the system. Notice as we head into the afternoon, we make it probably around 70, low 70s for highs for Oaks afternoon. We just have some spotty light rain showers developing here for us. So I don't think it's going to be a washout by any means. Keeping the poncho handy out there for Oaks. Should be pretty comfortable though. Upper 60s, low 70s. There you can see some of the scattered, mostly light rain showers there for 5 p.m. That's gearing up for the 151st running of the Oaks race. All right, and then Friday night, some showers passing through. I've got about a 40% chance of that rain going for Friday, May 2nd. Into Saturday morning. This is at 8 a.m. So this is the solution that we want. There you see that rain moves off to the east. We should probably have some morning clouds Saturday, giving way to sunshine Saturday afternoon. Temps in the 60s, it looks like, for Derby afternoon. Now, I would say that the European weather model was a little more pessimistic. It had some showers lingering a little bit longer on Saturday. I am going to stay optimistic here with that clearing out trend. The clearing out trend there for Derby Day. So there it is. There it was, step by step. Now, if you missed anything, you can always just rewatch the timing of the high-resolution weather models. We looked at 2 different ones for today and the severe weather threat that will possibly develop this afternoon. Again, we're under level 3 out of 5, an enhanced risk of severe storms from the Storm Prediction Center. Would not be surprised if we get a severe thunderstorm watch later this afternoon, like they do have out to the west of us over parts of Missouri. And then we looked at the weather model data step by step, hour by hour through Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. One thing I did not show you was the total amount of rainfall. I'll go ahead and bring that up. Even though we are going to have these rounds of showers and thunderstorms, it doesn't look too crazy overall. Let me go ahead and bring this. Oops. Probably, for the most part, about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall overall. So let me go ahead and go back to the weather model data. Got the GFS loaded up, total precipitation, and then we go to, we'll stop at May 3rd morning. And then that should bring up our total precip. There we go. Sorry, I thought I had it on camera here. There we go. You're just looking at my face. All right, so this shows again, just plotting out some of these numbers here. Excuse me. Anywhere from about 1 inch to 2 is what we're looking at for the total rainfall. This is from the GFS. Now, sometimes the GFS isn't taking into account some of the convection, the thunderstorm activity, so there could be some locally higher amounts, possibly up to 3 inches. Maybe a flash flood warning here and there, but overall, this is not, I don't think it's going to be a huge flooding concern. I don't think we're going to be talking or worrying about any flooding with the Ohio River from this system. All right, let me bring back the radar and satellites. So this is the current situation across the region and into the Midwest. So there is a severe thunderstorm watch out to our west. And this, let me take a look at this real quick. So that's a severe thunderstorm watch with potential hail, damaging winds, and this goes until 4 p.m. That stretches into Illinois. Within that watch, they've got some busy weather again around Springfield, Missouri. There's a tornado warning there, right over the top of Springfield, Missouri, and surrounded by severe thunderstorm warnings. Tornado warning, I should say, right there. And then northwest of our area, as I jump around on the radar a little bit here, this is what's called a special weather statement. It's not a warning, but there you can see that up towards Vincennes to Terre Haute, some active weather. And let me do like we'll do like an hour and a half loop of that. See if the radar data starts to pop back in. There we go. Just took a little chugging on the computer there. There you can see the motion of these showers and thunderstorms. So if it continues on that direction, we might start to see over the next hour or two some of that rain heading over Lagodi, around Bedford. It's kind of cruising along and north of Highway 50 in Indiana, that batch right there. That is not severe at this time. So the weather models that we saw earlier had that early afternoon batch. That's probably what we're looking at here, and that possibility of more explosive area of showers and thunderstorms for late afternoon and evening time, give or take around 6 p.m. Later on today. I'm just playing around with some stuff now, so bear with me. Bear with me here. I'm just trying to draw a little track here. Let me stop this. Oh, there's the track. I can do better than that. Oop. Manual tracking. Clear that, and this. That is the storm tracker. Clear that one. Sorry about that. I'm just playing around here. Bear with me. There we go. So there we go. So if that was moving, I'll say 50 miles per hour, then this is where you have the potential for some storms moving through. It has head towards Bloomington around 11:05 and Indianapolis around 11:15. So staying mostly off to our northwest with that batch right there. Let me clear off that track. Okay. All right. Enough of that. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little distracted here. Michael Harden. We got a baseball coach popping in here. What does it look like at West Wash today? All right, I'll pop up the latest high-resolution weather model data, and we'll look at it together. And then we've got Steve Givens watching from Orangeburg, South Carolina. I hope the storms aren't too bad back home. Everyone stay safe. We'll check in tomorrow from Hilton Head Island. Good for you, Steve. Love Hilton Head. Love that part of the country. All right, back we go to the weather model data for Michael Harden, a Borden High School assistant baseball coach. We're looking at future radar here, and we're going to be looking at, I'm going to pop up the WRF, the WFR weather model for this one. Reflectivity, and we are going to start this off basically where we are right. Let me go ahead a little bit here. A little dated for my liking, but we'll probably look at the HER here in a second as well. I'm making Michael stick around for the long answer to the question. All right, so this is at noon, so it's picking up on some of that activity out to our west-northwest. Here is around 2, 3 o'clock, showers and thunderstorms. If we get this early batch, it might settle down to late batch. If it just kind of bypasses our area, we miss it a bit, the later afternoon, evening batch could be a lot stronger. That's kind of the conundrum that we're looking at for today. This is around 3 p.m. and this is 4 and 5 o'clock. Obviously, not great forecast for West Wash. As we look here, we go to Salem. There's Campbellsburg. There's Livonia, and then West Washington School Road is right in there. All right, that's the WRF weather model. Let me see if I can give you any better news with the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. I think it's been doing better with activity off to our west-northwest. That's the initialization. That's the weather model taking in the current data. It updates every hour. Pretty solid as far as performance goes with high resolution weather model data. It's at noon today. So this is our first batch of some showers moving through. This is at 2 p.m. today. That would not be a big deal. That would not shut down the baseball game. It's what happens later in the afternoon. So as we go to 5 o'clock, that's where the ADs, the athletic directors, are going to have a tough time today. I'm glad I don't have to make that choice. I just give the weather information. So we have the potential for late afternoon, early evening, strong to severe thunderstorms. This is 6 p.m. Could you get a baseball game in before that over parts of southern Indiana? Potentially. But it's going to be maybe a race. And I think if the National Weather Service does issue a severe thunderstorm watch, then that might help make the decisions easier for the athletic directors. But that is at 6 p.m. today, storms rolling in from the west-northwest, and then that is at 7 p.m. That's why we have the enhanced risk of severe storms for today and the potential for storms to pack, damaging wind gusts over 60 miles per hour, large hail, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, heavy rainfall, things we're going to have to watch out for. Overall, low severe weather threat. So, Michael Harden, you're the man, and we're just going to have to kind of wait and see how it evolves this afternoon. But odds not the best in our favor for the ball games later today. My daughter's playing tennis up in Henryville. Probably not looking good for that. My son playing baseball at West Washington. We'll see. We'll see if they play at all. We've got a ball game every day this week. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So every day has a rain chance. That's the beauty of springtime sports. Okay, we spent a long time on the radar, the satellite, the weather model data. So let's get back to the forecast for you, and then we'll wrap things up. I knew this would be a long one because of the active weather for today. So today's forecast, up to 79 degrees. Very warm afternoon storm. Southwest winds around 15 to 30 miles per hour. Sunset at 8:32. Pollen levels off the charts. Every once in a while we'll get periods of rain that'll hold it down, maybe provide you with some relief. Tree and grass pollen. That play ball forecast, chance of storms flat out. Temperatures will be upper 70s, near 80 when there's not storms. If you get the rain, that'll drop you to low 70s. Sunset, 8:32. 9 p.m. sunsets begin as we head through June. 62 our low for tonight, so we'll stay mild. Once the storms, the threat of strong to severe storms moves out, I'd say 9, 10 p.m. Then we just have a few maybe isolated showers left over through the overnight. And the all-important 7-day forecast. We've got upper 70s, near 80 degrees next couple days. I think the first half of our Wednesday and Thursdays would be the driest with increasing rain chances through the late afternoon, evening time. I've only got a 30% chance of rain tomorrow, being optimistic there too, since I'll be out at Churchill Downs tomorrow. And then 80 degrees with a higher, more widespread chance of showers and thunderstorms. And some of that heaviest rain Thursday and those stronger storms could be late afternoon, nighttime. 40% chance of spotty light rain showers left over for Oaks on Friday, high of 72. Looking dry for Derby afternoon, 67, so a little cooler there. 40s at nighttime. No freezing temperatures, no frost concerns. So we're looking good as we head into May here. And as we head into our first work week of May, our first full work week of May, we're looking at dry conditions. In fact, after a rough and busy start to April 2nd was when we had tornadoes across the area, flooding. That led into days of flooding. So we had a busy start to April, kind of settled down for a little while. And now we're back into kind of an unsettled weather pattern today, tomorrow, and in our first day of May. So hopefully after that, after we get April out of the way, with way too much rainfall across the area, we're settling down next week. I don't see much rain chance for most of next week. We can get back in the yards, cut down the tropical jungle that has grown in all of our yards if we couldn't get to it this week. We've got Robin Edwards going back to Louisville this afternoon. Going to head back to Louisville in LaGrange. So hopefully you can beat those showers and thunderstorms out there for today. I want to thank you all for tuning in here. We've been going on for about 51 minutes and just wanted to get you well prepared for that potential of severe storms later this afternoon. Thank you too, if you're not watching live, if you're watching that replay, thanks for tuning in and looking at all our weather content here for you. Thank you for watching, whether it's on my Facebook page, on Extol Media, on YouTube, Extol Weather. On Facebook, just search any of those, extolmag.com/weather. Bookmark it, lots of weather content there for you as well. I forgot to show this, I might as well show it. The birds are in big migration. We talked about this earlier today. And so there was an estimated like 200 million birds that moved through last night, and this morning they were busy. The birds are busy this morning here, a little after 6 a.m. Happy it's a new day. So there you can hear some of those happy birds this morning at around 6 a.m. this morning. Got a lot of different varieties out there. So this time of the year, we're seeing birds that you typically don't see as they migrate to their breeding grounds. Millions and millions and millions and millions of birds passing on through. If you're out early in the morning, especially if you live around the woods or the fields or nature, you might hear some bird calls that you've never heard in your lifetime. Some rare birds a lot of times flying by this time of the year. So we'll end it on a happy note right there with the bird nerd segment. Just see if we have any last minute comments. No, I think we're going to end it there with Robin Edwards comments. Thank you for also adding comments. If you're watching that replay, I also head back and check those comments. Thanks for watching Ben at 10 on this Tuesday, April 29th edition. And the last comment from Barb Rainbolt, which is the perfect meteorologist name. I've got a cardinal pecking at all my windows. The cardinal this morning was the loudest bird, by the way. All right, well, I hope that cardinal behaves better and better there for you. All right, so guys, you have a great day. Stay safe out there this afternoon. Heed any warnings that pop up later today, and we may have some watches and warnings that do pop up. Get those alerts on your phone. Make sure the phones are charged. Have that plan to take shelter immediately if those warnings are issued. Again, stay safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Ben at 10.